By almost any measure, 2016 was a terrific year for credit unions. According to the Credit Union National Association, by mid-2016, credit unions had experienced year-over-year membership growth of 3.8%, the fastest growth rate seen since 1988. Total credit union membership was at 104 million, roughly one-third of the entire U.S. population, and year-over-year loan portfolio growth was at a 10-year high of 10.5%. Other key metrics remained strong as well, such as loan to savings, 78.1%, ROA, 0.79%, and capital adequacy ratio, 10.9%. But there is a concern. The Credit Union Satisfaction Index, or CUSI, is at a 4-year low of 84, as measured on a 0 to 100 scale. CUSI is a combined measure of a member's overall satisfaction. Satisfaction compared to expectations, and satisfaction compared to an ideal experience. The 3-point drop from 87 in 2015 to 84 in 2016 is a considerable dip, particularly since all other traditional credit union metrics are up. The lower CUSI score serves as a wake-up call to credit unions. As credit unions celebrate a strong 2016 and look to 2017, they must be on guard to protect against member attrition. What can credit unions do to retain members and grow revenue? We have identified 4 opportunities for credit unions in 2017. 1. Measure the member experience. 2. Target millennials. 3. Lower deposit account rates. 4. Improve app processes. Each of these opportunities involves a managerial shift that includes continuing to manage current practices while simultaneously developing new practices. Opportunity number 1. Measure the member experience. Continue to manage key financial ratios, but also develop member engagement metrics to provide a holistic view of performance. CUSI should be included in the portfolio of metrics used to manage credit union growth. In addition to CUSI, at least 3 other measures of member future behavior should be tracked: the likelihood to remain a member of the credit union, the likelihood to use additional services, and the likelihood to recommend the credit union to others. Credit unions should also measure across the elements and touch points that work together to make up the member experience with the credit union. We have identified 7 satisfaction drivers that cover the vast majority of the experience members have with the credit union. We organize these drivers into a model where the satisfaction drivers have an influence on CUSI, and CUSI has an influence on 3 future behaviors. Finally, credit unions should build into the measurement system an analytical approach for determining how much influence each satisfaction driver has on growth. At CFI Group, we apply the proprietary ACSI modeling to calculate impacts for the satisfaction drivers to determine their influence on CUSI. Impact tells you how much CUSI will improve if the satisfaction driver score goes up. For every 5-point increase in a satisfaction driver score, CUSI is projected to improve by the amount of the impact. Credit unions that apply advanced modeling analytics to measure and manage the member experience are able to design specific strategic improvement plans that allocate operational funds in areas that have the largest influence on the future behaviors of members. Opportunity number 2. Target millennials. Continue to manage boomers and Xers, but also develop millennials as a customer segment of future growth. Gen Xer and boomer members make up 2/3 of the credit union respondents. Much of the credit union experience is currently geared to meeting the needs of these 2 groups, as evidenced by the relatively high CUSI for both Gen Xers and boomers. Millennials, on the other hand, are less satisfied with their credit union experience. Younger millennials and older millennials make up 1/3 of the credit union membership, but their low CUSI scores indicate that credit unions are not sufficiently addressing the needs of this younger generation. Relatively low CUSI scores for millennials is concerning because millennials represent future growth in services. 56% of younger millennials and 71% of older millennials, 65% combined, plan to sign up for additional services within the next year, compared to 49% for Gen Xers and just 18% for boomers. Lower CUSI scores for millennials translates into lost future revenue, as millennials are less likely to add these additional services if they are dissatisfied with their credit union experience. Opportunity number 3. Lower deposit account rates. Continue to manage appropriate fees, but also develop lower deposit account rates. Last year, CUNA estimated that checking account fees alone represented 40% of all credit union fee income, and all fees combined make up a full 14% of a credit union's gross income. But there's a problem with this fee extracting strategy. These short-term gains are coming at a cost, especially among millennials. Millennials rate their credit union fees at 80, which is a fairly high score, but below the 84 from Gen Xers and Boomers. Meanwhile, Gen Xers and Boomers give a relatively low 76 for deposit interest rates, compared to the millennial score of 81, which is a full 5 points higher. As younger millennials become older millennials, the average balance of the checking or savings account grows and peaks before edging down as a Gen Xer or Boomer. A credit union's excessive fees and low satisfaction for young millennials will result in forfeited checking deposits later when they become older millennials. Opportunity number 4. Improve online processes. Continue to manage availability and functionality of apps and the online experience, but also develop processes to be more robust and seamless. The most significant disruptions that credit unions face are the steadily increasing expectations for mobile banking. Our study highlights the digital experience gap between millennials and Gen Xers and Boomers. The differences in scores for these two groups for ATM, branch convenience, or branch staff are only 1 to 2 points. However, the Gen Xers and Boomers score of 91 for online and mobile banking is a full 7 points higher than the millennial score of 84. Much of this experience gap can also be explained by the level and frequency of use. Millennials are much more active in conducting their banking remotely. For example, 71% of millennials apply for a loan online at least every few months, while that number is only 34% for Gen Xers and Boomers. Credit unions know that mobile apps are critical for continued growth. That is not new, but it is a healthy reminder that millennials have significantly higher expectations for the ease of use and comprehensiveness of the mobile app than do Gen Xers and Boomers. Credit union executives must relentlessly develop iterations of the app and streamline the processes that continue to make it simpler, easier, and more convenient for active millennial users. Credit unions in the US are experiencing seismic shifts as consumers grow more comfortable with cloud banking and alternative banking models, such as Bitcoin and blockchain solutions. If credit unions closely measure and follow their members, they can anticipate changes in their perspectives of their members and preemptively act to retain their member base. A well-designed member satisfaction measurement system allows a credit union to get an early read on the impact of a policy change without having to wait until the change impacts the financial metrics. Check out other sources we have for measuring and managing credit union member satisfaction, or contact us to find out more about how to create great experiences for your people. www.cfigroup.com